I think that that is exactly what we have been talking about today. Like as Vinit ji also told, today we are talking about boundaries and the data of Indian citizens or data that is generated in India. So that is the type of data that we want to one secure, and as both of the other speakers have also highlighted, how can we use that for our economic development now, and also set a roadmap so that this data can be used by Indian companies or for the development of the uh, Indian economy in the long run. I think that is some of the elements that we have to focus on as we go ahead and stuff. We were discussing about the access to data, and data access is an important criteria, and why we talk about this thing. So I think many of you would have seen that as a part of an investigation or part of certain data analysis, there is a lot of data requests that goes to all these global companies like say Facebook, Twitter, Google, and things like that. Like as Vinit ji was talking about this Twitter post, this tweets coming from people possibly in not so friendly countries across the border. If you can actually intervene when the first tweet is generated from such a location, then you can actually act on that and delete that tweet immediately. So for that, what is required is that if there is a request from the Indian government, say to access this data and to know where the owner of the data or the tweet is coming from, if you can know that in say 5 to 10 minutes time, a very short time, so we can actually stop it from spreading. But then the fulfillment of requests that when it goes from India for these companies, because these are primarily the US companies that we're talking about, Google, Facebook, Twitter. Facebook, I'll take the example of Facebook because Facebook puts every year the data requests that they get from different countries and the fulfillment rate. Fulfillment rate is like if they got a request to share a certain data for a particular country and how much the fulfillment rate has been. So if you see the fulfillment rate for Facebook data request for by US is about 90%. But for the data request that has been made by India, it is only around 40%. So there's a huge difference that we are talking about in this case, and that is one of the very important things, because we know that this is a notorious post that is going on Facebook. We want to stop it, but we cannot do much about it because until unless the parent company gives us access to that data. So that is an issue that possibly when we are talking about this data privacy bill that is currently under the parliamentary committee, will take care of some of the issues. And though there is nothing mentioned about the timelines for the data access that has to be given, this is an issue that I think we will see much more discipline among these internet companies when this data privacy bill comes into place and the data fiduciary and the data authority is used, and they can actually work with these people. So one is the access to the data. Often when we talk about access to data, say you've come to know that say Avik Sarkar is sending unlawful messages from an outside country. So you try to access my messages and stop it. But then if you just access messages for say 1 or 2 or 3 people, it doesn't give you a trend. As Vinit ji was talking about the various examples of those musical instruments or the Rakhis and the stuff like that. So to understand the trend from the data, you need to access the whole huge amounts of data. You need to access the entire amount of data that is there. Maybe they generated in all the Facebook posts, all the Twitter posts generated in Maharashtra, and get a trend from there. So to do that, you actually need to access to this data. Now, this is something that our non-private data bill that is there has started talking about, but again, it is talking about in a language which might not be accepted by this private company. So I don't know if anyone, if you looked into it, there was Google, for example, came up with Google mobility trend. So there were these various areas that are there that people go on. Say they are looked into areas like, say, places of travel, like, say, bus stations or airport or railway station. That is a place of travel. Then, say, school, offices, and that's places of work. Then there is a places of market or recreation. So they have taken this 6, 7, 8 type of areas that people usually go to. And what Google had done during the Corona pandemic is that they have shown that there is a normal rate in which the people comes there on a every monthly and daily basis. And during the pandemic, how the numbers actually came down for a lot of the areas. The number of people who are coming down, in some cases it was drastically coming down by a certain percentage, and you can just Google mobility trends India and you will find that report. So this is the type of insights that policymakers need to know. There was a huge debate and news happening over this migrants going back to different people. Until now, we are using the state government machinery and the Narega jobs and to understand how many people have gone back to these different areas and how they are doing their work. There is a depth of mobile phone data which is lying with Indian companies like Airtel or Jio or Vodafone, which can be used to find out the trends of how people have gone through. So their permanent location was, say, in Mumbai or Delhi, and now they are based in some other location. So this sort of mobility data is of huge benefit. So I particularly, it is very useful for a lot of the cases. Like, say, when the Uttarakhand disaster happened in 2013, I had myself worked on those data for the recovery of people from that location. Like, how could you recover and know how many people were stranded there just based on the mobile phone record. So these are some areas where you need access to huge volumes of data to use it for your governance purpose or your social benefit purpose and things of those nature. The other aspect that comes about is the aspect of innovation and IPR. As a country, we have to make the data sharing with startups much more easier so that they can come and innovate on that data and create more indigenous products. That is one of the very important thing, and we have to promote that. As Mr. Chandrasekhar currently pointed out, that lack of research is a very crucial factor. I think Vineet also touched upon that point from his compressor example. I think that is a very important factor that we have to look into, is that we have not looked into, say, I'll take an example. Chandrasekhar ji talked about the telecom infrastructure. There are 4 companies, 2 European companies, Nokia Networks, Ericsson, and 2 Chinese companies, Huawei and ZTE. And these are the 4 players in the market. They have been doing business for the last 30 years, and India has not tried to even enter this field. They are completely relying on those players, and they are not even trying to create indigenous solutions to this thing. Now, yes, when you create something, it might be expensive. It might take you some time to get a market share. So, but even if you have some amount of market share, that is good. But then the trial is not there. The effort is missing, and there is little government intervention also that is happening on those areas. So if you are talking about the example like a tractor or any other equipment, getting details about the machines in India, we are doing very little innovation in this field, which needs to be promoted. Like building indigenous manufacturing in India, which is India-led, is also one of the important things. So I think these are some of the key aspects which I will focus on. I agree that tax is a good thing to have. But my challenge with that is that see, if we are talking about one type of data, एक तरह का data का हम लोग बात कर रहे हैं. If that data is given to Facebook, they have 100 other types of data. They can use it for a big economic gain. Or say that data is shared with Jio. They have many other data about the user. Suppose मैं आपका और मेरा कुछ data का बारे में बात कर रहे हैं. Like suppose our location on a daily level is shared with Facebook and Geo, they can use this data and earn a lot of revenue, advertising other things. If it's shared with a startup who do not have these other 100 data points, they might be able to make only 1 rupees. So my challenge whenever I talk about tax, and I've spoken about the tax issue with METI officials also, is that at what rate can we tax other people? That is where my challenge lies. The other alternative that I provide is that if you are taking data for citizens of India, then based on government and some mutually agreed rules, you should be making data available at a particular granularity that can use for economic benefit. And for that, we need a dedicated data cell. मतलब not in मीडिया टाइप में ऑल इंडिया लेवल पे एक डेटा मिनिस्ट्री चाहिए. अभी हमारे पास सिर्फ स्टैटिस्टिक्स का मिनिस्ट्री है, which is to do with doing surveys, as all of you will know, and generating insights out of surveys. But when you talk about big data, or say transaction data on Amazon, transaction data on Facebook, Google, and if you have to generate insights from these huge volumes of data, we do not have a assigned body who can do that. आज के दिन में डेटा हम लोग दे भी देता है, उसको माइन करके उसका एक प्रोटोकॉल डेवलप करना है, having the security protocol, having all the blockchain protocol, and then deriving insights and using that insight for governance and policy making and for helping back the businesses in the country. We don't have that protocol at all. लेकिन there, जैसे विनीत जी बोल रहे थे, if our like children wants to remember us, children, grandchildren, I think that will be a good contribution, because we are at that time where we are data security, privacy bill लिखा जा रहा है, non-personal bill लिखा जा रहा है, and we are in that favorable age. We are all working in the favorable age. If you can make a good contribution and come up with something along those lines, that will be a much bigger impact than tax. And if nothing else, then taxing I will think taxing is the easier option. And generating data insights is a more harder option. I think awareness is one of the biggest issues about data sharing, and a lot of the data leakages that we see happening around us is also because people are unawarely sharing data. Like say a list of people named with Aadhaar number has been shared by some state government official. So this is a big awareness issue that is there. How to say when we use our own machine, like a laptop or desktop, even many of them are logged in. We never encrypt our laptop or desktop. What encryption means that even if your laptop gets stolen, someone just picks up your laptop, they cannot decrypt it. If you have encryption, it is not just the password. Password is to log in, but if your hard drive is encrypted, these are very basic things, but these are not communicated to a lot of people, and and they're not part of general knowledge. Like say, we know that we have to keep our doors locked, we need a big lock, but for data security, I think these aspects and knowledge are not a part of our usual training, and that is a big lacuna that's here, and this thing has to improve a lot more.